to my channel. It is day 3 of Vlogmas, and today I'm gonna have you guys get ready with me. We're gonna chit chat a little bit about mental health and all that fun stuff. So without further ado, let's get right on into the video. All right guys, so today we're going to be doing a little get ready with me because I'm going to work this morning. It is like what, 8 something, 9 o'clock. So I'm just gonna do my makeup and we're just gonna go from there. So right now I am using the Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer on my face. You know, one thing I hate about everything happening right now is the fact that we are still wearing masks. Like, oh my God. I'm gonna be using the HUDA Beauty Full Filter Stick Foundation today. This is in the shade Gingerbread. I really like this foundation actually. This is definitely one of my go-tos. It's like a nice natural finish. And I'll be using a beauty blender to buff it out. So one thing that I find interesting about the holidays is that it's definitely a time where depression seems to spike for so many reasons. It's definitely a time where, you know, people lose their loved ones. My boyfriend and I just found out that we lost a friend the day before Thanksgiving, is when we found out. And, you know, it was hurtful. It's really sad when you have to go through that. And I felt even worse for his family because, you know, instead of preparing for Thanksgiving dinner, now we have to prepare for a funeral. And, you know, stuff like that can really make people go into a downward spiral. And getting that type of information during the holidays can definitely, you know, make people feel very depressed, anxious and depressed. And I'm gonna use the HUDA Beauty concealer, the Overachiever concealer. This is in the shade Cookie Dough 14N because I like to highlight under my eyes, okay? But yeah, so as far as, you know, mental health goes for the holiday season or just any season in general, it is so important to keep busy. It is. Of course, obviously there's nothing wrong with grieving whenever you need to, but I don't like to dwell in things. So it's so important for me to just keep busy with whatever it is that I'm doing. I know for a lot of people that might be easier said than done, depending on the circumstances. And definitely with still being in the midst of a pandemic, you know, it's like, what are rules really anymore, you know? This year has been so hard for so many people, and I cannot believe that we're even still in this madness. So I just want to let anyone who's watching this, anyone who cares, I want to let you know that, you know, whatever you're feeling, it's valid. You're never wrong for feeling some type of way. And just know that even when you think you're alone with how you're feeling, you're not. I saw on the news that there was like a study, I guess, basically insinuating that, you know, at that time, this is a few months ago, so at the time it was every 1 in 3 Americans were depressed. And so that just goes to show you that even though even though there are people who don't take mental health seriously, some people think that, oh, you know, there are people who think mental disorders are a choice, and it's just simply not true, you know? And I think that's why a lot of people don't talk about it so much, because they feel invalidated. They feel like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be feeling this way. There are people who could have it worse. Yeah, but you know, you don't tell someone who's happy about their circumstances that there are people who have it better than them, do you? You just let them be happy, because that's what, you know, regular people do, because they're allowed to feel happy. And this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Stick Foundation for my contour. This is in the shade Truffle. But yeah, so while I don't think that, you know, you should stay in a state of, you know, sadness, depression, whatever. Nobody really wants to stay that way. It's just something that, you know, people go through all the time. But in order to get through the seasonal depression, what I personally do, because, you know, honestly, I go through these types of things all the time. And, you know, for some of us been fighting depression for a really long time. And I just happen to be a little bit more open about it than most people, because, you know, it's like, I'm human too. I'm not perfect. There are people who, you know, they look at my social media, right? People who don't speak to me on a day-to-day basis. They see my social media. They see everything I'm doing. They think, oh, she's living a great life. Da 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 da. Nothing's wrong. She's doing her thing. She's got this going on and that going on. But the reality is, sis, I'm human, and I go through human emotions. And some of those human emotions are not, you know, positive all the time. So, you know, to keep myself from staying in a dark place, what I tend to do is, you know, I have several different supplements that I like to use every now and then whenever I feel like I'm getting into, you know, a little fog. And, you know, there are so many people out here who just think that if you're depressed, you're weak. But it's like, that's not it. Fenty bronzer in the shade Caramel Cutie. You know, during these times where we can't really be around family and friends, or, you know, really anyone for that matter. Normally with depression, my best advice is always to surround yourself with people that love you, people that make you laugh and all of that good stuff. But since we're kind of in a weird position right now, the best thing to do is to just honestly call whoever you need to call about, you know, your situation. See a therapist if you've never tried that. See one. And Anastasia Beverly Hills highlighter, the Amrezy collection. See a therapist, really get into that. Speak to a family member, you know, find someone that makes you laugh. Do things that you enjoy. Like me, I love Christmas movies. I love, you know, eating. I really love eating. That is a great situation for me. Eating, I love online shopping when I can. You know, most of my money goes to my clients now. You know, and even with that, like, take the time to give back. There is something so fulfilling about being able to be in a position to give, you know? But yeah, so light therapy, vitamin D supplements, calling your friends, hanging out with friends if you can. I'm not totally recommending that right now, but I mean, you just have to do what you have to do. If being around people is what's gonna make you happy, at least find one person to be around, just for the sake of your sanity, because mental health is so important, and it's definitely something that we need to highlight during these times. So even if that means being on FaceTime, Zoom, whatever, find someone to talk to. Watch a movie, watch a funny movie. If you like reading, read something. Go online, go on Google. I Google so much stuff just to learn random stuff. But those are things that are super duper helpful for these times. Get a journal, write it out, plan things. I spend a lot of my time planning. I have spent so much of this year planning for next year and possibly the year after. So, you know, hopefully everything goes as I envision it in my mind. But yeah, I mean, pick up a new hobby. You know, this is a time to learn more about yourself, learn more about what you like, what your interests are, and really taking the time to just understand yourself. All right, so I am done with my face, and now I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna wear. I don't know how to dress for this weather. I gave away all my clothes, and now I have no clothes. Love that for me. So I'm gonna catch you guys in a bit. I mean, we'll see. I have no idea how long this vlog is gonna be, so I'll catch you guys when I see y'all. Okay, later.